Len Johnson from LJE Products, and thank you for purchasing the Trail Courtesy Light. And in this video, we're going to show you how to install it on a Polaris Matrix chassis. The kit's designed to fit multiple snowmobiles, so Arctic Cat, Yamaha, Ski-Doo, Polaris, and anything else you can think of. We're going to show you how to put it in. So with our Trail Courtesy Light, just like our helmet lights and other things that we make, they require direct current power to work properly to power the LEDs. So your sled has to be a newer sled with fuel injection that would have direct current power available, or if it's an older sled that has electric start, that would have direct current available. But if you have an older pull start, let's say an 02 Polaris Edge 600 with no battery, it's not going to run the light. So it has to go on something with direct current power. So you'll notice the Trail Courtesy kit as an assembly, this is what it's going to look like. Handlebar mounted backlit switch, green amber LED strip, and this has a quick connect on it, so you can pull it apart. We make extension cables that extend this for sleds that you think you might need that on. We make a 12-inch and a 30-inch kit. We've had some customers that want to put them down here on the lower part of the sled, so you'll need an extension kit to do that. In this video, we're going to show you how to do it on the Polaris Matrix, and on this particular sled, we have the adjustable windshield. We also make replacement LED strips in case you have two windshields and you want one on each windshield, or if you have a little off-trail excursion and maybe a little crash and you break your windshield, well, we have a strip to replace it. So we made the kit flexible enough so it can fit in various locations on the sled. We kind of like this position right here. It's going to be visible. Now, even though the LEDs kind of point down a bit, these are 60-degree LEDs, which means they have a 60-degree viewing angle, which allows them to produce light like this. So it's easily seen. What I'm going to do now is, because I like this position, and I don't want my wire wrapping around here because we've got a long flare here, and I know that I'm going to need the extra wire, plus it just looks better. I'm going to drill a hole with a step bit in this area so that, and I'm using a marker to mark it, so that I can route the wire in between, behind the windshield, over onto the dash, over to the RCA. Our kit connects to your existing RCA jack, so there's no opening the hood, wiring under the hood, and trying to wire to the battery. And we give you a second splitter for your heated shield cord. We're going to show you how to install all this. All right, I got my hole drilled big enough for the connector to fit through. Now I'm going to take the alcohol wipe that we supply with the kit and prep the area where we're going to be sticking the LED. The VHP adhesive that 3M makes requires this to be room temperature, at least room temperature, for it to stick properly. So you have to make sure you do this in a heated garage, and it's been sitting for several hours in the garage. You can't do this outdoors, it will not work. All right, we've peeled the release liner off the back, and we're getting ready to stick it. So we're going to line that up. Okay, so once you get that strip where you want it, press the middle first, all the way down, and you can see what's happening on the back side there if you're sticking it properly, because if you see air bubbles, you know you're not. Then you're going to use your thumb, press the edges in. We got to seal the edges on the LED strip because we don't want any water getting in behind there, which would freeze and cause the strip to delaminate. The next step is to take the Allen wrench that comes with the kit out of the little bag. So you're loosening up the Allen headed screws. Once you get these loosened and removed, we're going to test fit where we want the switch to be located. All right, now you want to test fit where you want to mount the switch. The preferred location is going to be on the left side of the handlebar, but if you're running handguards and stuff and you don't have any real estate in this area to do it, you can always mount it on the right side. So once you've located kind of where you want the switch, tiny little screws. You can't over torque these or you're going to snap them off or strip out the threads in the housing. Work the bottom clamp assembly into place. And then using the Allen head that we give you, the Allen wrench. Once you get one side started, you can start the other side and just Don't even tighten anything yet. Just get things together and check your fitment. Remember, you cannot over torque these. Get your switch oriented where you want it. So now that I have the switch located where I want it, positioned where I want it, and it's not touching anything, not interfering with anything, I'm going to snug these up. I do a little on each side, and just keep working your way back and forth until everything is snug. Remember, don't use too much torque. Okay, now that you have your switch mounted where you want it, the next step is kind of get the wiring oriented how you think it's going to end up on the dash. We're going to plug into the RCA. Then we're going to plug in the lead to the trail courtesy light from the harness. And if you do plug this back together, you'll notice there's a little arrow arm there. That arrow and the index inside the orange part of the connector, that's the female side, has to line up with the male side. If you push it together and things aren't lined up, you're going to bend the prongs. Ask me how I know. We've had customers do it. So make sure you orientate this, and you can feel it when it goes because it almost seems to click into place. And you wiggle it and push it, and now it's installed. All right, so what we determined is the way we're going to route this is we kind of ran the wire around a little circle here. We're going to stack these two splitters on top of each other. And we give you these clamps to clamp stuff down. We give you different versions. We got some that once you stick it, it's not coming apart. But because the hood can be removed on the sled, we have to take into account that this stuff has to be able to be taken off so you can just get it out of the way and remove the hood. So now we've determined how we're going to route the wires. We're going to use the Velcro fasteners so that this can be removed if the hood has to be removed. And we took into account that if the dash is opened, there's clearance for it to open. We're also taking into consideration things like the movement of the handlebars, things like that. So now we're going to start working on this, and then we'll work our way over to here. Now this is a case where a heat gun comes in really good. Okay, we've got the release line is peeled off our piece of Velcro here, fastener, and now we're going to start. We've heated all this up. We've used the alcohol wipe that comes in the kit to clean all the residue off the cab where we're going to be sticking things. And then we use the microfiber to dry off that alcohol. We're going to replace this clamp on here. And then we're going to position it where we want it. And then we're going to firmly press down and hold this. Okay, now we're going to stick the 3M and put this clamp in the next location. And again, press and hold it. Work it in for 30 seconds. Now we're going to zip tie the flexible wire coil part to the sled. All right, if you notice, the way we routed our wire is we started here at the RCA power jack, put our first Velcro under here, and this goes up to the heated shield cord, which I run down through, and I always go through the handlebar center assembly because you want it coming off your left side, and it just works better that way. We have another Velcro here. Then we mounted our cable clamps. So we have the first one centered here, the next one over here. So you'll notice another clamp here, another clamp here, and another clamp right here. So everything's nice and neat oriented so that it's going to stay on the sled. And again, when you're sticking these on, especially if you have a textured surface where this is a wrap, so it's really easy to stick to the wrap, it's good to have a heat gun and heat that up so that it gets sort of tacky, and then press these on. And just make sure when you press them on, you hold them on there for 30 seconds. Work them in so that you know they're going to seat. All right, so once you have it installed properly, you can start your sled and test it. So green means you're the last person in a group, signaling all clear behind me. And remember, the trail courtesy light doesn't work unless you're aware of who's behind you, which means you need mirrors. And then amber means you're the first rider in a group, and anybody else in the group that uses the trail courtesy light will also display amber, meaning caution, more traffic coming behind us. Green can also be used if you're a solo rider and you're riding by yourself, displaying, again, nobody's behind me. It should be clear. So again, real quick, trail courtesy light, it's a courtesy. That's why we call it the trail courtesy light. And it eliminates using hand signals, so you can keep your hands on the handlebars where they belong. Also, if you are in a separate group of riders and you're the last person and there's another group of riders behind you, you still need to display amber because amber means caution. Thanks again for purchasing the trail courtesy light from us at LJE Products, and we hope to see you guys on the trail.